A few weeks ago, Spain banned all cash transactions above €1,000, meaning you can't even buy a decent laptop there anymore. France has had this rule for quite some time, and it's slowly spreading everywhere, a digital prison, one step at a time. Welcome to the fourth installment of The Poor Man's Pablo Escobar, where we dive into the underground world of finances through offshore corporate talk posts and provide our own commentary. Today's case, moving €100,000 in cash to Hong Kong. A French guy wants to move €100,000 in cash to Hong Kong. He just hasn't realized that we live in the 21st century, where even your public bathroom payment is logged and traced. But how do you get rid of large amounts of cash without getting flagged? Let's find out. Capital controls. This forum post is relatively old, but it perfectly encapsulates the current situation. In fact, it's only gotten worse. Right now, if you want to leave the EU with more than €10,000 in cash, you have to declare it with customs. In the US, it's approximately the same, around $10,000. Obviously, no bank allows you to deposit such an amount without meticulous documentation of the source of funds, quite difficult to do with cash. This user suggests using some maritime shipping line like MK or traveling with a private jet. But for €100,000, that's probably too costly and impractical. Funny enough, what this person is looking for in an age of digital restrictions, border checks, and capital controls is a way to move money without actually moving it, a system where the cash never physically travels. Does that even exist? Well, as migrants in Europe would attest, it certainly does. Hawala history. Right now, I'm standing in Nîmes, once a stronghold of a powerful and secretive order known as the Knights Templar. They essentially ran the first offshore banking network. Pilgrims could deposit gold in one city and withdraw it in another, without any gold coins actually moving. It was based on trust and a hidden ledger only known to insiders. A similar system exists today, Hawala. It's a financial network based on reputation, connections, and utmost discretion. How Hawala works. Hawala is essentially like Western Union but without the advertising or record keeping. It's a word-of-mouth banking system primarily used in Asia, the Middle East, and some African countries. So how does it work in practice? Let's take our forum user in France who wants to send €100,000 to Hong Kong. Instead of depositing the cash into a bank account and using a wire transfer, which would obviously raise red flags, he gives it directly to a Hawala in his own city. These brokers are usually shop owners, money changers, or businessmen with international transactions. That Hawala then contacts his counterpart in Hong Kong and instructs him to wire the equivalent amount into the recipient's Hong Kong bank account. The broker does it, and, if you've noticed, not a single euro has moved internationally. The two brokers will settle their debts later, off the books, using trade deals, commerce, or bills of exchange. It's fast, untraceable, and most importantly, discreet, essentially an accounting trick. How to find a Hawala broker. It's not like they advertise online, right? Here's how to find one. Find an ethnic store related to the country you want to send money to. If you're in Asia and need to send money to India, find an Indian store in Kuala Lumpur. Befriend the owner. Build a relationship over weeks or even months. Start small. Complain about high remittance fees and the difficulty of wiring money. If they engage in the practice, they'll know exactly what you mean. Once trust is established, you can move on to larger transactions. Chinese shadow banking. The Chinese expanded on the Hawala principle by using casinos, especially in Macau. Here's how it works. You buy chips at a casino. Instead of gambling, you deposit them in a shadow bank. The shadow bank converts the chips and wires the money to your account elsewhere. This system acts as an underground currency exchange, with casinos serving as layering vehicles. It works because gambling is legal in Macau, and the government turns a blind eye. This is how many wealthy Chinese have moved billions into the West. Extremely practical tip. With the ongoing war on cash, particularly in Europe, is there still a way to offload cash into more liquid investments? The answer is a resounding yes. Countries like Turkey, currently facing a currency crisis, have a population that desperately wants cash euros and dollars. You'll find some of the best OTC, over-the-counter, exchange rates in the region. Higher conversion rates due to staggering inflation. Check out my previous video on how to find the best OTC dealer. Avoid ones with an office since they require ID. Instead, visit crypto events where transactions happen off the books. Another option? Open a Turkish bank account. Some banks will open an account on the spot if you deposit a large sum in cash. We saw it firsthand. One of our associates, a Russian, opened an account in a single day at Kuwait Bank by depositing $10,000 in cash. No questions asked, no waiting games. Normally, you'd need a Turkish SIM card and tax ID, but this was bypassed by making the right connections. It helps to bring a Turkish-speaking friend to smooth the process with the bank manager. Conclusion. As governments tighten their grip, these underground networks will only grow stronger. The financial underworld isn't disappearing, it's evolving based on necessity. We are slowly marching into a CBDC, central bank digital currency, nightmare. The media isn't reporting it, and the majority remains unaware. That's it for today's presentation. If you enjoy this type of content, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below, it helps with the YouTube algorithm. I also made a previous video on how to buy property anonymously, which could definitely help you in the future.